has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. We hear those words every so often during the year, but today it has a special meaning, because today is the day the Lord has truly made, because today the Lord has conquered our biggest fear, which is death. What is death? It could be we are living a life of sin when we are dead. And when we live this life of sin, we can feel that we are dead. Dead to the love of Christ. We can also feel death when we are living a life of despair and without hope and without love. We know God the Father gave a choice to our forefathers to choose life over death. And for a short time, our forefathers chose life. But because of our fallen nature, as we do, started to choose death. They started to live in a state of sin, in a state of hopelessness and despair. We can say they started to live in hell, without the warmness of God's love. Just a couple of days ago, I was in the hospital, and I felt totally alone. Even though the brothers were coming to visit and texting me, for some reason or another, I felt alone. Now I felt like I was living my own personal hell because of a feeling of emptiness and abandonment without hope. How many people do we know ourselves who feel totally alone, who feel abandoned, who live in their own personal hell? But today, Jesus, in his great love for us, has gone into the deepest part of our fears and our own personal hells and pulled us out and pulled us into himself in love. This is what it means when you hear Jesus descended into hell. I know this to be true because when I was feeling totally alone and abandoned in my own personal hell, Bob and Diogo brought Jesus in the Eucharist. And I realized the immensity and the love of Christ pulling me away from that feeling of abandonment. And that moment, Jesus was descending into my own personal hell. Jesus was entering into the darkest part of my hell and pulling me out. Today, we see the Easter fire burning. Let us call to mind those people we know that are living in their own personal hell and ask Jesus to pull them out of that hell, to dispel that darkness of sin, and give them the hope of eternal life. Brothers, let us rejoice and be glad, for today Jesus has conquered death and given us eternal life. Let us rejoice.
Amen.